Hello, friends. On April 20, 2023, a formidable, some might say volcanic, solar eclipse will occur at 30 degrees of the Aries zodiac sign. Let's talk about what this eclipse will bring to us and the whole world. We will also discuss influence on your sign. This solar eclipse in the sign of Aries will be the first solar eclipse on the new axis. The events that come to the surface during this period, or the problems that arise at this time, will only be fully resolved from July 2023 to January 2025. The period of this eclipse will present each of us with a new task. This task will not be based on external influences. The theme that will manifest during this solar eclipse will be both unexpected and anticipated for us. How can this be? The energy of this eclipse brings out what is already ripe inside us but has not been manifested or consciously realized. Therefore, at first, when we feel and see this task, we may be surprised. Then, we can think, evaluate everything, weigh it, and understand that it is time to solve this issue. So, the first eclipse in a new sphere, in a new zodiac sign, in a new house of the horoscope, is like a period when we enter new territory. We are just beginning to understand what exactly we need to do. I call this eclipse volcanic because the awakening of a volcano is also essentially a reaction, a culmination of what has been brewing and is ready to come to the surface. This eclipse is tense and explosive because it occurs in a tense square aspect to the planet Pluto. It's about being true to ourselves. During this period, we may come to the realization that every time we suppressed our pride, gave up on our dreams, submitted to someone else's will, or exhibited weakness of character, we were actually betraying ourselves, our personality, and our essence. When we tried to imitate others, wear someone else's mask, play a role that wasn't really us, or succumb to our fears, we allowed ourselves to be undervalued and traded our pride for some superficial gains from the outside world. And in this period, we will realize that every time we acted this way, we were slowly losing ourselves. We will want to regain our sense of self, our integrity, and rediscover who we truly are, so that we can act according to our own desires and aspirations. This is the energy of struggle, so everything that happens during this period will push us to some degree towards a fight with some force. This eclipse seems to urge us to display qualities such as personal courage, a desire for freedom, a longing for independence, and the desire to be true to ourselves. During this period, we will all want to assert ourselves, but it is crucial to do so at our own expense, rather than trying to devalue the significance of other people. In other words, we need to prioritize ourselves first. Last time, a solar eclipse in the same degree occurred on April 19, 2004. And a solar eclipse of the same series happened on April 8, 2005. Think back to what was happening in your life then. What ideas came to your mind? What did you want? Which areas of your life were most affected by the influence of this eclipse? On an external level, the period of this eclipse is a time of power redistribution in the world, both in terms of politics and economics. Since this eclipse occurs in the last degree of the sign of Aries and affects the first degrees of the sign of Taurus, which symbolizes materialism, accumulation of finances and resources, the areas related to banks and the economy will be affected during this eclipse period. There may be fluctuations in currency exchange rates, but the fundamental theme here is the redistribution of power in the world. During the period between eclipses, from April 20 to May 5, 2023, one of the prominent political leaders, particularly those who are negatively perceived, may fade into obscurity or voluntarily relinquish power. This could happen through forced removal or willingly stepping down, as some important figures were ousted from power during the last eclipse series. The eclipse period is a time of grand battles and significant political events involving specific figures under the sign of Taurus. This eclipse occurs in the 12th house of the horoscope. This is the house of the past, secrets, and during the influence of this eclipse, you will want to figure out your personal plans and prospects. This eclipse is very favorable for those who plan to move, immigrate, who plan to change their place of residence for not just a short time, but to move to another country or city for a long time. You will truly hold all the cards here. This eclipse may affect changes in your work, especially if it is remote work, if you work in isolation from other people, from your colleagues, at home or work on a specific project. And even if your work is not related to isolation, distance, there may still be changes. Someone may finish work with a certain employer. And someone, for example, may sign a contract to extend cooperation with a certain organization. In other words, changes in work are possible, and there is also a high probability that your partner in your personal life, if you are in a relationship, married, may change jobs. At a minimum, there will be changes in your partner's work conditions. Since the 12th house is the house of completion, release, during this period you will feel like you have already solved an important task, that you have been freed from something, fulfilled your obligations or promise, something that you considered your duty. If you are concerned with the theme of secret relationships, then during this period, you will have an important conversation with someone, and you will understand what to do next with these relationships. Should you continue them or put an end to them? In other words, you will make a conclusion about the expediency of these relationships in your life. And since the 12th house is the house of the past, during the influence of this eclipse, you may have many memories of the past. About what, as it seemed to you, had gone forever from your memory. But you can remember it. These may even be seemingly insignificant situations that have occurred in your life. And if there are such memories, it means that it was then that the attitudes or fears that still affect you were formed. And these memories give you the opportunity to look again, as if from the outside, at what happened in your life, in order to draw correct conclusions and free yourself from this influence. Also, the power of this eclipse will push you to want to feel healthier and physically stronger. Someone may consider going to a sanatorium or a vacation home to restore their strength. And someone may start exercising or actively getting rid of harmful habits and addictions. It is precisely getting rid of dependencies of different formats, material, emotional, and physical, that will be very easy during the period of influence of this eclipse. Please subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on astrological news and to learn about their impact on your life. Like and leave comments about how these forecasts have affected your life.